That's what makes this show so valuable.
Yeah, we're not just spewing stuff that we off the top of our head. We're bringing guys in that are smarter than us.
Consider us as your real estate concierge.
Call me all things real estate, credit, refinancing, buying a house.
And now, the show that gives you the latest and most relevant housing market news. Real Estate Radio Boston with financial expert Rick Scherer and legal professional Ali Alavi.
I'd like to welcome on the phone Erica Wallace from Walton Consulting Group. You're going to talk about a great app that is going to kick some people's butts.
It is.
Kinda.
I wanted something that would help us all stay on track. We probably made those resolutions with great intentions, and we're a few days into the new year, and I think probably many of us are drifting away from those goals. And this helps you stay on track. It's called BeMinder, and it's accountability and reminders with a sting is their tagline. And that sting is there is a pledge you make of $5 to start. And if you don't stay within what they call the yellow brick road, which is the data path to your goal, then you actually have to pay that $5. They have your credit card info and they take it. And it exponentially increases the number of times you go off the goal. And it sounds scary, but if you're willing to commit your credit card and to say, I'm going to do this or else, you're not going to pay that money. You're going to stay on task and you do have some leeway. They allow you to take a break. You can walk away for free as long as you give notice. You can click archive and it'll put the goal on hold.
I think you're going to use the app to be able to make this show more successful. So you're going to have that as your goal.
You can make it anything
do it all.
From losing weight to making the show successful to sleeping more.
How do you get BeMinder?
If you go to BeMinder.com or if you go to the Android Google Play Store or on iTunes, just search for BeMinder.
Thank you, Erica. Always a
Thank
surprise.
you, guys.
See you next week.
I know that obviously doing staging really impacts the marketing of a particular property.
It does.
So tell me a little bit about, give me a little insight on what's your take on how best you assist with the marketing of the property.
We participate in, assisting to get the beautiful photos, to have them put up online, doing photos and, and videos.
Why not spend the extra money and get professional photography and a video, a narrative walking through the property, and even, a floor plan, because when they go and see what you've done, well, then now you're going to take that furniture out. So
Right.
if they have a floor plan, they can kind of go and maybe come back to you guys, because you guys do interior and decorating as well,
Yep.
and say, here's a floor plan and I really wanted this and that. And I think it helps people
Right.
personalize their house.
Excellent point.
Yeah. Well, the pictures, if you take a picture of an empty room or kind of like, you don't know, you might not know what it is. So what we do for the pictures is help identify, with the buyer, what that is.
Right.
Is it an office? Is it a bedroom? Otherwise, if it's empty, you're just looking at hardwood floors and windows and you can't,
And a lot of people in a big space doesn't know how to break it up. Doesn't know, if it's supposed to be a dining room, but also a family room. And, what kind of piece of furniture do you put to break up the one from the other if it's just a big room?
Do you have any statistics on how quickly a home that is staged versus not staged actually gets sold?
Yeah, it's usually between about 73 and 78%. Quicker.
Wow.
Quicker.
So obviously, if you're a seller out there that's contemplating on selling your home, you really ought to be utilizing the services of Kelli Weber and Interim Furnishings, because now you're going to be able to market that property even quicker.
How does your home inspections differ between the winter months and the summer months?
Yeah, some of the challenges that we have in the winter months are similar to what we have in the summer. Like in the summertime, you can't really test a heating system. In the wintertime, you can't really test an air conditioning system because you could potentially damage the components. Also, we have the snow issues. So if we have a foot of snow on a roof, there's no way that we can tell what the condition is of that. So you got to take that into consideration when you're buying in the wintertime, that there may or may not be things that you may not find out during the inspection process.
If I'm contemplating on listing my property, you provide a very valuable service.
We do pre-listing inspections. It's a great service if you've lived in your house for a long period of time, or if maybe an estate sale where you've inherited the property and you're not quite sure what's going on with it. We'll go through and do an inspection on the property before you put it on the market, so you'll be fully aware of any of the potential issues that will come up.
Now, what's the cost? Is the cost comparable to a regular inspection?
We actually charge less for a pre-listing because we find it to be a very useful service. So we have a flat rate of $250 that we charge to go out and do a pre-listing inspection.
Wow.
We spend about an hour and a half at the property And as we're going through the property, we're talking to the seller, and we want them there, pointing out the things so they can see what the issues are up front.
If I'm going through my inspection and I identify certain issues, can I rely on my inspector in telling me how much is it going to cost to actually rectify the issue?
During a purchase inspection,
Yeah.
no, you can't. A home inspector is not allowed to give out any sort of pricing, give out any referrals of contractors or anything like that during that process. The buyer wants to do their homework when they're looking up an inspector. One, trusting their agents, trusting a network of people that have been put together that you can go off of their reputation is always good. But check their license, make sure that they are licensed, that the company is insured, that they don't have anything filed against them. Because that way you're getting a good job and you're getting it done properly and no one's stepping out of their bounds.
I tend to think that people are still in the psychology of my house is still not worth what I paid for it or not worth selling or, and they just don't necessarily see the big picture of how property has appreciated in the last 2 years, where it might make sense to throw your hat in the ring and go to the suburbs.
I think in 2006, 2007, when you started to see that decline or dip in value, or at the very least the plateau, sellers were still thinking, well, my property's probably worth more. So from a realtor's perspective, a lot of times we were basically trying to talk sellers down value-wise.
Right.
Now, after basically being hit over the head with the media for several years that values have come down, I'm finding more often when I'm meeting sellers and presenting a sort of range of value that they are surprised that it's worth potentially as much as I might say that it is.
When a seller goes, oh my God, this is like $70,000 more than we put on the and they just see the money signs. But when your advice to them is maybe that's not the best offer, maybe actually a little bit less.
You can't just look at a number as the sort of metric for what kind of an offer or deal you should be working with. There's so many other components, the most important being its financing.
Right.
And who's doing the financing.
Right.
Is it Zeus Lending or somebody from, out of state?
Right. Or is it MSA Mortgage that just know it's going to get done hands down?
Where you can call your lender, first of all, they have a reputation.
Right.
So if the buyer's working with these folks, chances are this is a great deal.
Yeah.
But moreover, sometimes you could call a lender and say, listen, I'd like some more assurance about these people.